This is Levi Cooper, and you're listening to the Sit Down Marks with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me.
What up, what up, what up? Episode number 117 of the Sit Down Marks podcast, your monthly wrap of what's going on in the world of wrestling. Thanks everybody for joining us on SportzWire, Sports Radio, also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all those podcast platforms out there. Man, since we've last talked to you, there's been a shit ton of things happening. We have so much to get into, so much to talk about. But let's talk to the boys here, see how everybody's doing before we jump right into it. AJ, man, what's going on with you, man? It's been a minute since you've been on the pod. Thank you for coming back.
You know, I almost forget what we're supposed to do right now. Also, big update. It's almost time to switch over my baseball hats to football hats, which is always an exciting time of year. Currently wearing an Albuquerque Isotopes hat, just so you know. Those listening,
raise your hand if your football teams are currently undefeated. Yeah, buddy, me and Primo.
Hell yeah. I had a hell of a weekend.
You did?
AJ
you part of the team now? What's going on there?
AJ had a bad kickoff return or punt return, whatever it was on Monday night.
Yeah, that was stupid. Wasting my time.
After A-Rod blew his Achilles out.
It
was a crazy night. That was a crazy night.
I don't like people
all the
like
Jets' hopes and dreams along with it.
Why are people like rejoicing in Aaron Rodgers blowing out his Achilles?
Because people
I'm
are
not. I wanted
scumbags.
to see him play.
Yeah,
I wanted to see him all out.
There's always haters. I want to see him too, man. The Jets kind of deserve it. They've
I was kind of blown by it as well. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about. Michael, how you feeling, brother? Everything good on your end?
There's not enough booze in the world for this past month of wrestling. And I don't give a crap about football, so my teams are doing great. My Tecmo Bowl team is undefeated. Me and Dion are going all the way, baby.
Oh, man.
Mine's for life.
I love this time of year. Primo, brother, how you doing, man? Everything good?
Yeah, man. Everything's good. Living the dream. Just working, smoking, and joking.
That's right.
We smoke.
All right, boys, let's jump into it, man. But before we get into the serious stuff of the podcast, the actual what's going on in the world of wrestling. Let's get a little serious here for a minute with a little melancholy, somber beginning here. So, the world of wrestling, many things have happened, inside the ring. A lot have happened outside the ring, but also, lately, we've also lost two kind of big, big faces in the world of wrestling, man. Let's talk about the most current first, man. Let's all get a word on Bray Wyatt here, man. Just kind of your immediate thoughts when you found out that he had passed. I think the official word came out from Triple H, posting on Twitter that Mike Rotunda, his dad, a.k.a. IRS, Mike Rotundo, let him know that he had passed, dealing with some heart issues, and we were all shook, man. Michael, what'd you feel when you heard about Bray passing?
Didn't believe it until I actually saw the report. Dude was younger than I am, and he's a professional athlete, and fucking got wiped out by heart complications from COVID. That's some scary shit, man.
He'd been in a bad car accident not too long ago, too, right?
Yeah, he actually pulled drivers out of a car accident. They didn't even say anything about it. The only reason people know about that is because the person driving with him kind of told the story.
Yeah.
All reports, he was a great guy, and I honestly didn't really care for a lot of the spooky stuff he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean he wasn't incredibly talented, though. It just wasn't for me.
Right.
Yeah, but the worst part about this is, like, you know, a DB, Primo, I know you guys can relate to this, but, like, can you imagine having to call your son's fucking boss? No, that would be horrible. So my heart breaks for Mike Rotunda.
Yeah. Primo, we're big Brave fans, man. What were you feeling?
Yeah. Well, first thing after the initial shock was clearly gone too soon. Like Michael said, he was younger than Michael, but I'm almost the same age as him. We 2 years apart, and so that shit is scary. It is an eye opener for sure. It really is scary. It's a real it brings it real close to know that someone close in age like that was in way better shape than I am, still suffered from heart failure and stuff like that. But no, as far as his career and him as from everything I hear from other people describing him as a person, he seemed like a great guy. As a performer, I've always enjoyed watching him. Enjoyed his creative mind. I enjoyed whenever they let him, let his mind go free and do kind of what he wanted. And we might have saw one of his last performances at that house show in February.
Yeah. You came down to visit. We went to a house show in Champaign. He did the lights out match that we often joked about because
I loved it. Excuse me.
Yeah, but no, it was like the Purple Mountain Dew match or something, whatever it was called.
Pitch
Dark. Yeah. So you know what I mean. So we laughed at that, but yeah, you're right. So, what about you, AJ? How did you feel?
So I was more devastated than because when people that you don't know pass away, especially people that you're big fans of, you're like, oh, that's so heartbreaking. And it's like it is, and you don't really because I've been a huge Brave fan his entire career. I love the spooky stuff. I love all of them, everything that he did. And I met Bray Wyatt, and I don't know if I ever showed you guys that picture. It's me, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, and then Heath Slater kind of just hanging out in the background, which is funny. But he was the nicest. First of all, he was huge. He was like the nicest person I like ever met. He was soft spoken. He was funny. He was polite, and all he wanted to do was like come in and have lunch. Like that's why he was at the bar that we worked at, and he was so accommodating and so polite and so nice, and it was amazing. I'm very glad that I got to meet him. I was even a big fan back then too, so that just made me more of a fan. So yeah, it was heartbreaking to see that he had passed away.
Yeah, for me too. To kind of put it in a nutshell, man. Like I've always been a fan of Bray's. I've always been a fan because I liked the style. He was big and agile and can move. And I loved his creativity. He talked me into matches. I basically loved, well, I don't know. I think we all laughed at Husky Harris, but I basically loved everything as Bray Wyatt. I wasn't a big fan of The Fiend, but I loved to watch it and I enjoyed it because it was kind of out there and different and creative. And this mask was like crazy. And the whole Firefly Funhouse was kind of cool to participate in, even though I wasn't really into it, you know what I mean? But it was cool to do at house shows. But, for me, man, I don't know, it hurts because, he's a legacy guy. He comes from a tradition of wrestling, gone way too soon. I think he had so much left to do out there, and it was like he was gone, which, and it was like all of a sudden, he was gone from wrestling. And then all of a sudden, it's like he's gone from, the earth because, and then we didn't hear anything about it. And then you hear that he had heart problems, which, like Primo said, it's eye opening to me too. My dad died of a heart attack. You know what I mean? So, when anything happens like that, it's always like, wow, and how was he? 36? Is that how old he was?
I think he was 36.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm 12 years older than that guy. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? And it's, it's just heartbreaking. But to flip the convo, man, did this guy make me feel right? Because in wrestling, a lot of times that's what it's all about. And I was talking to a buddy of mine when the NXT was still pretty new. You know what I mean? I'd still kind of watched it here and there. He said, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I remember he said, "Hey man," he said, "have you seen the guy on NXT? He's wearing like the Hawaiian shirts and he's kind of acting like a cult leader and all this kind of stuff." And I was like, "No, I haven't seen him yet." You know what I mean? So I kind of started tuning back in, just kind of check it out. And then I think I never stopped watching NXT after that until maybe like recently, if we're being honest. You know what I mean? But man, like I remember just him in the rocking chair, how spooky it was, how eerie it was, how like he was talking fucking way out there about all kind of crazy shit. But I was just so intrigued to hear, what he, always had to say. And I remember, we always remember, obviously, like, I mean, I think one of my favorite rivalries ever will be the Wyatts versus it's Seth and Dean and
The Shield.
The Shield, thank you. You know what I mean? So, so I love that. And I always go back to the debut, man, because I remember one of the biggest times, when wrestling really gets you, it's when you're getting the goosebumps. It's different being at an event. You can get goosebumps easy like that because you're feeling it, you're feeling the crowd, right? But when you get goosebumps, like when you're watching on TV, like you're like, this is a big deal. So I always remembered, when the Wyatt family debuted on Monday Night Raw, and I always remembered, what happened after that, and they started just basically just wrecking shop, just attacking everybody. But I remember that particular pay-per-view. I'm sorry, particular promo that Bray. I need to slow down. Bray, the particular Bray promo right before they came out. I remember the goosebumps the feelings I had. So we're gonna jump back to that era and listen to this promo one more time in honor of Bray. Probably my favorite, one of my favorites from Bray. But this one was always fun because they were about to do the big debut that we were all anticipating and ready for. And so here it is, man. Just let's jump back in time for a minute.
I have no followers. I have only brothers and sisters, all in the name of cause. People are sheep. You understand me? They can't lead themselves. They need to be led. People buy and sell fear. They worship war. They crave war. But I'm not afraid of their wars. I created war. And I think it's time for the masses to wake up. Wake up. Wake up! Wake up and look at this lie they're living in, man! The world is deteriorating between their toes, and they do nothing about it. They only stand there, they whisper and wonder, but they never do anything about it. But I've seen it all in my dreams and in my thoughts. And above everything else, I understand this is not the beginning. It's the end. We're here.
Good times, man. Gone away too soon. I'm gonna miss watching Bray Wyatt wrestle on my TV, man. You boys got any last thoughts here?
I don't think there was anyone more creative than him in modern wrestling, and it's just so sad that he's gone.
They gave him the Waylon Mercy gimmick, and he made it work.
Right. Sure did. Yep. Yeah. So
they debuted by kidnapping Kane.
Right.
Then,
Yeah, they did. It's amazing.
And then I still remember talking about the Wyatts and the Shield. What like a polarizing moment in that feud was the first time that the original 3 members of the Wyatt family and all 3 members of the Shield got up on opposite sides of the ring.
Yeah.
And then they finally clashed. It was
Yeah, it was good stuff, man. Good stuff. But I think his legacy's going to live, because a lot of people are probably going to use a lot of his stuff. Waiting for that next person in a wrestling match to do the backwards bend over like he used to do would be really cool. Well, let's move on, guys. Let's talk about the Funkster, man. We lost a legend, the hardcore legend himself. He was getting up there in age. I didn't know anything about too much of his health wise, but Terry Funk, man, up there, he's on a lot of people's Mount Rushmores. I was able to get to see Terry wrestle a lot on TV. Got to see him quite a few times live. I remember the first time I ever seen him was probably on one of the early ECW shows from my dad tape trading with another guy, not really knowing who he was, but thinking, wow, this guy's nuts. He was one of the first guys I seen light a table on fire and get thrown through it himself. So, yeah, what's Terry Funk to you guys, man?
So what's funny about Terry Funk, him and Dory, right? They a lot of people in modern audiences don't know. I mean, they hear the name Terry Funk, they think, deathmatch, Mick Foley, all that. No, dude was an accomplished wrestler for 30 years before he started doing that stuff. I honest to God thought he was 90 something, but the dude just kept going. He kept going and going. And AJ, you remember when we were watching WCW in the Russo era, and he had that feud with Norman Smiley? You remember Norman Smiley?
Love Norman Smiley.
And we looked at each other like, how fucking old is this guy?
Uh-huh.
That was 30 years ago.
Well, his first retirement match was in 1986 or something?
Yeah, he was in his 50s in his first retirement match. But yeah, then you and I saw him do a moonsault to the outside off the top rope. We're like, okay, apparently he's ageless. I don't know.
It's gross that what he could do.
Yeah, he was incredibly talented. Yeah. Man,
I do have a slight confession to make about Terry Funk.
Mm-hmm.
So in his later career, I tried not to get too upset by the fact that all of his matches were just bleed then win. That's all. But at the same time, it's it's Terry Funk. I think he's earned that kind of booking.
I'm gonna steal that quote for later in the show. By the way,
bleed then win.
Oh, that's going to come up.
A little John Moxley, perhaps.
Terry was just, he was so good to wrestling. Not only did he give his body, he was known for getting promotions up off the ground, putting his face on, on things to help wrestling. He wrestled everywhere, legit, fucking everywhere.
Seriously.
He was Chainsaw Charlie.
Amazing.
Just an absolute legend, man. And I'm gonna miss having him around. Thank him for everything that he did for wrestling, and was really cool to have met him a few times. And let's move on here, man.
You met Terry Funk?
Yeah, I met him a few times.
Hold on a sec. How was he?
Oh, he's very, very nice. Super nice.
Cool?
I mean,
cool?
I didn't meet him nothing above like a meet and greet type thing, but
still, I didn't know you met Terry Funk. That's cool.
Yeah, I met him. I would say at least twice that I remember. Both times in Spartanburg, South Carolina, at the Spartanburg Auditorium. Me and Dad, was talking to him, that kind of stuff. So, But yeah,
Cool.
super nice, super cool, and yeah, he was always cool. There's probably a picture of me somewhere, but that was back in like the probably little click camera days, the ones that you like buy and then you got to get them developed or something, probably. So who knows where they are? But all right, real quick, man, let's talk about a few notes before we jump into All In. So this guy's kind of in the rumor mill a little bit again, but Edge just had his 25-year anniversary. Obviously, he's in the kind of in the talks right now of possibly going to AEW. Would that be weird to you, AJ, if he did?
No, I kind of hope he does, just because I want to see Edge and Christian back together again. I think that would be fun. That would be fun.
Sure.
But I think AEW is going to benefit from having Edge there? No. Like, it's just another aging WWE guy. But Christian is there, and I want to see them do things together again. So, yes, I'm excited about the prospect of him going to AEW.
Yeah. Mike, Primo, any of you guys care about Edge going to AEW possibly?
I feel like it'd be really weird to see like a lifelong WWE guy go over there. It's not
like
so
seeing
weird
Taker?
for Christian because Christian was like in TNA, so you got it right.
Yeah.
Like you've seen him go out and become a real boy before. So yeah, I mean I'm not against it. It would just be weird to see, you know, on another what is he gonna and now coming out to the ring, Adam Copeland. Like,
Yeah, would he still be Edge, or would they have
now
to
he is not Edge, he is
Adam Copeland?
backside. I don't know.
Depends on who owns the copyright, if it's him or if it's
Definitely.
It's got to be WWE.
yeah. But 25-year career, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I mean, he's one of my faves. He's in my top 10.
Sure.
Like, I
Sure.
love Edge.
Yeah.
Just because I've watched him my whole life.
Oh, my Durango.
All right, so
hate that song.
You love this song, AJ?
I hate it. I hate it so much.
next note, how about Cash Wheeler getting a gun charge prior to All In, but still wrestling? You guys have any problem with that at all, Mike?
Yeah, here's an interesting thing. There were no witnesses. He wasn't held. I mean, a old man said Cash Wheeler drove by and pointed a gun at him. Produced the gun.
Ooh, a little conspiracy theory. I like it.
No, not that. I think the guy was just mistaken. Like, if I was driving by you at high speeds doing this to you, and you're like, I'm scared of these moving lights and moving pictures, like, Dirty, you're like 1,000 years old. If I pointed at you like this, you'd probably think I was holding a gun, right? Like,
Probably.
But yeah, here's my point, though.
Insinuating.
All these people that want to, like, dump on Cash, okay. One, he hasn't been convicted of shit. And two, like, I doubt he actually pointed a gun at another person. Why would he? Because he was mad?
Yeah.
Well, what I have to say is, who fucking cares?
Yeah, that was kind of my.
At the end of the day, wrestlers are fucking. You started out like fucking carnies, man. Like
they're all scumbags, all of them.
Yeah, like who the fuck cares?
Yeah. Also,
I don't care about my wrestler's moral compass.
Yeah, you know how many wrestlers carried guns on them all the time, like factually carried them? The Steiner brothers carried pistols on them, but no one's slagging Scott.
I would assume they all do, or at least did back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in the territories when you're getting jumped after shows,
right, yeah. You're famous, man. I would carry one of me too.
So yeah, here's my point though: is you're taking the word of an elderly man who saw a guy driving by at high speeds and said he has a gun. Where's the gun? Show me the gun.
Yeah.
Prove it and convict him if he did it. If not, shut the fuck up.
Right.
All right. So, what do you guys think about these Chad Gable, and Gunther matches lately? Pretty freaking
amazing,
sweet, man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
good.
Yeah,
I
because
love
Gable's a machine. So
Gable is very, very, very good, and so is Gunther.
I hope that Gable is the one to take it off him now, because he's been one of the best in-ring workers for since what the fuck was their tag team with other Kurt Angle's son?
I think that was Alpha Academy.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Jason
What was
Jordan?
What was their tag team?
Alpha Academy.
Alpha Academy. These.
What are they called
No,
now?
wasn't it Alpha Flight?
No, it was Alpha something.
It wasn't Alpha Academy.
It was Team Angle with
It was,
Son
no, it
and
was
Shorty.
something in Abel. I can't remember. Jordan.
Are we-
something.
are we
Anyway.
But it was American Alpha.
American Alpha.
American
Thank you.
Airways, yes.
And by the way, I was a big fan of American Alpha.
I was too, because I love Chad Gable. I thought he was fantastic.
Chad
I thought
Gable
he should have been
always
Kurt's
amazing.
son.
That would have made the most sense.
I know, right? Yeah, like he's literally just almost kind of like built
He's like,
him.
okay,
Sort of looks like him
almost
anyway.
the same.
Yeah.
Olympian.
Like there are a few things that I'm super excited about in WWE right now, and that is definitely one of them. I want him to have 3 more matches.
I want him to be away from Otis.
I'm
much.
okay with Otis.
They should do
I
a
am
best
not.
of 7.
Like Otis, no offense to Otis, but Chad does not need Otis. He doesn't.
Well, no, it's the other way around. Otis needs Chad.
Yeah, Otis
Exactly.
needs Chad. Yeah.
And when you're in a situation when you need a partner to do anything, you're already done. Like,
Yeah. Yes, Jimmy Uso, looking at you.
All right, well, let's jump into All In, boys. I'm not going to be talking results here. I just want to talk about some notes that I've written down about it. First of all, holy shit, 81,035 was the actual what they're reporting as tickets sold. Not they were reporting that this number also did not include any comps, did not include any tickets that were given away in any kind of promotions. 81,000 at Wembley. At any event, wrestling or anything, that's a lot of fucking people, man. Holy shit. For wrestling, that was good, man. That was awesome.
That was great. It was real great. Like, I don't care what happened afterwards, like that, or yeah, it was after. That's an accomplishment.
During and after and before,
Right. All right, so AEW pay-per-views, like, to me, they kind of feel a little more important because they aren't as often. I guess we don't see them every month like we do with WWE. So when there's one big like this, man, it kind of gets me excited for it. And I thought this pay-per-view pretty much delivered, man. And so let's talk about it here, and then we'll move on past it. But just because the first match of All In was CM Punk and Samoa Joe, which I'd watch that match 10 times out of 10 every day. I love that matchup. But this is where allegedly all this bullshit that went on with Punk that ended up getting him fired right before they went out here, right before Punk came out with Jungle Jack Perry, that ended up getting a Punk fired. So do you guys want to say anything about this at all? Or you guys just want to, Punk got fired again, more backstage drama. It's kind of more of the same. I was a little shocked that they fired him.
How are we not going to talk about the biggest thing in wrestling right now?
Right. Well, I'm giving you guys the floor. I'm giving you guys the floor. Go for it.
Well, okay. I'll keep this short and sweet, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about this. I texted you all when this happened. What a surprise! The guy who's known for not taking shit from people doesn't take shit from people. What a surprise! What a surprise! You poke the bear, he pokes back. What a fucking shock! I've watched a lot of coverage about the CM Punk thing, right? And every person I've listened to, and every piece of coverage I've watched about it, it's always so, Punk is such a reactionary, he's out of control. Okay, let me clue you, dear listeners, in on a little factoid. No one in this conversation right now, in this 4 people talking right now, if we had to put up with the shit that CM Punk had to put up with, the whisper campaigns, people punching him in the face on live TV, Bobby Fish, people shit-talking him live on TV, people talking to reporters, making up shit about him and spreading his whole business all over the place. People bursting into his locker room and then expecting like, well, we didn't know what was going to happen. If any of the four of us had to put up with that shit day in and day out, I'd lock that motherfucker in a front face lock too. And so saying something as stupid as, oh, CM Punk is just a loose cannon, go fuck yourself. You're only telling half the story, you disingenuous cocksucker. Like, the dude had to deal with so much fucking shit from day one when he got there. And they're like, I cannot believe he blew a gasket. Really? You fucking can't? Are you crazy? What did you think he was going to fucking do, Jack Perry, you talentless hack? What did you think he was going to do? When you were like, do something about it. Again, guy known for not taking shit from people tends to not take shit from people. He already beat up your little best friends. Like, what did you fucking think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay. With that said, two things here. One, I firmly believe that wrestling cliques, especially the one in AEW involving the executives and the head of legal and their little fucking weirdo entourage of Bobby Fish and Hangman Page and Jungle Boy and blah, 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 blah. Firmly believe that that was a clique that happened, and they just picked Punk because that's what cliques fucking do. And if you don't think that's a fact, you've never been to fucking high school. Go fuck yourself. Two, I think Punk wanted to leave. I think he was so done. He saw an opportunity to right in front of the boss. Says, you know what? I'm gonna fucking just put this kid in a fucking chokehold. Let's see what you do about it. Punk is not a dumb guy. And that's something that people really, really need to understand. He's not a stupid man. He's a very smart dude. He might be a little hot under the collar. He might not put up with shit from people. He's a smart guy. He makes plans, and he executes them. If he was guilty of half the stuff that Triple H accused him of in WWE, you have to accept this as a fact. He's a smart guy. He plans this shit. So,
Okay.
I was going to say, with that said, I'm going to turn it over to the rest of you.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not surprised something else happened. It was almost kind of a little bit inevitable. I don't like. I agree with Michael. Michael a little bit. Like, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I don't think he was mad about getting fired. Like, I don't think he really cares too much about being there much anymore. So, you know what I mean. But I mean, honestly, like, I'm gonna miss watching him wrestle. I hope I get to see him wrestle somewhere else. You know, maybe we will, maybe we won't. You know, I don't know, but I was a little shocked that the firing came a little quickly, especially since they were going to, you know, Chicago. You know, coming up at All Out within what a couple of days of
days, literally a week.
Days.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Anything else on Punk, Primo, AJ? No.
I love CM Punk, always have.
Yeah.
And
I think we're all just tired of the drama. Let's just get back to
exactly.
whatever it may be, let it lay.
Yep.
All right, so but this crowd wasn't very big on CM Punk too. I didn't think coming out.
Yeah, it's a little mixed, wasn't it?
Yeah. There wasn't like very, you know, pro really one or the other. There was kind of, you know, both chants, like, you know, going back and forth. So, but all right. So then let's talk about Bucks and FTR. Let's, you know, what do you guys, assuming you watched, what do you guys think about this match? I got a few notes, but I want to see what you guys thought about it.
I love
FTR.
FTR. I love
retained.
FTR.
Yeah, FTR retained.
Oh, I was about to say, dude, I don't remember. That's a while ago.
I do. I know that Young Bucks did a lot of super kicks.
FTR retained. Yeah. They both. Well, let me just read this real quick. Because I knew I would forget. Let me write this down. I wrote this down. All right. So at one point, this was the sequence. So Nick Jackson kicked out of a spike pile driver.
Of course he did.
Which prompted the first "This is awesome" chant.
No, it wasn't.
Let me finish. Then Dax kicked out of a spike pile driver. Matt Jackson then kicked out of a shatter machine. Cash Wheeler then kicked out of a BTE trigger, then kicks out of a shatter machine on Nick, which was a pretty awesome one, which was the one that was ended up getting the pin. So kicked out of shatter machines, BTE triggers. I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was the greatest match ever, but it was fun to watch. I was curious which way they would go with that, but I was kind of happy to see that the Bucks, I thought that was the right move to put FTR over here. They can always go back to it later. If the Bucks had went over here, I think it probably would have looked maybe a little selfish considering, but they didn't. They didn't. Yeah.
So
everybody would have. I say everybody would probably put it on
when. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I am glad the FTR went over here in this situation. But this is just a general question here. At what time will you not think that it's selfish for the Young Bucks to go over and win a championship?
Right, it's true because they're always going to have.
You gotta give them. You gotta give them a fucking chance to have it sometime. They are still active.
How many times have they had it already? Once or twice? I know once.
A couple times. Yeah,
twice.
And the trios,
but don't get me wrong. I am happy FTR won. I'm just saying, at some point, they are going to get them again. It's just it's inevitable.
Yeah.
2 points. This was not the time to do the rubber match. The time to do the rubber match was when you could put the AEW belts on FTR. That was the fucking time. This is just the most begrudging, I guess we'll do it. The Young Bucks matches are all the same thing over and over. They don't sell anything. They kick out of everything, and they're boring. I don't know why anyone is still interested in these matches. They kick out of everything. They do a bunch of unrealistic, goofy looking shit, and then they don't sell anything. Yeah. I don't know why anyone still likes these guys, but you know what?
To me,
that's
me
on
just,
an island. So
right. Well, I don't know. It might. Where I stand is, I know what I'm getting with them. I don't expect anything less. I know, it's entertaining for, the stuff that they do. You know what I mean? So just take it for what it is, and that's what they are as a tag team. And yeah, you're gonna see a lot of super kicks. You're gonna see a lot of the same stuff, but But I tell you this, man, and I started noticing this too. Right after this match, that this has happened a lot lately. When the referees down there counting the pins, a lot of times, half the time, and it's happened more in AEW. I've noticed because I kind of started paying attention, but putting the shoulders on the mat to pin them, it's you only need one down now. It's or they'll wrap them up under their neck, and kind of bring their shoulder up. So the referee's not really paying attention to that much anymore. So anyway, just a little side note.
The referees in AEW are portrayed as complete goddamn morons.
They are, and that's across a lot of podcasts. That's across a lot of big time radio shows that I listen to. They all say that. That's a very popular opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's true. It's the shit happens right in front of them. They're what are we gonna do about this? Here's the other thing about the Young Bucks and AEW. It's a typical AEW match. People kick out of everything. No one sells anything, and it's just 1,000 miles a minute. Nothing ever has time to breathe. Enjoy, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's different wrestling. Yeah. Stampede, the Stampede show. No, I'm saying it's definitely not all good, but it's definitely not all bad. But I mean, but anyway, so what do they call it? The Stadium Stampede.
Stadium Stampede.
Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, but that was kind of what it was. What'd you guys think about Saraya winning the women's title? I guess
didn't like it
at all.
Yeah,
Don't not give remote shit about it.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it mainly because I picked someone. I can't remember who I picked Britt Baker. It's Why give it to Saraya? Like I didn't
because they were
understand.
in Wembley.
Yeah, I get that. Then give her like the TNT title or something, or the TBS title or whatever.
They had her whole family there and all that. They did the whole thing.
Like, remember when British Bulldog went over Bret Hart? That was for the IC belt. Like, they didn't have to give her like the
What was that? 92 SummerSlam.
92 SummerSlam.
They only have the TBS and the women's belt.
Yeah, give her the TBS title.
They need a little longer to build that fucking huge legacy match. Like, holy shit,
Yeah.
come on now. What did you guys think about Darby Allin and Sting coming out to Seek and Destroy by Metallica?
I was confused, but then I was like, all right, I'm on board with this. This is fine. But I love Sting. He can do no wrong.
Cool. Yeah. Well, another thing I thought was pretty cool. How about Ospreay beating Jericho? He's beat Jericho and Omega in the last 2 pay-per-views.
Yep.
As another guy, I love watching that guy wrestle.
He's fun.
Yeah. I will watch any match of his ever, period. Yeah. I love Will Ospreay. It's fucking awesome.
And then during the trios match, did y'all hear about them? I must have looked away or went to pee or something. I don't know. But apparently Sasha Banks, or what do they call her now? Mercedes Moné. She was there.
Yeah, she's in the crowd.
Yeah.
She was there. And they made it like a big deal of it too. Like, could she be coming to blah, 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 blah? It's like, I don't know. Probably not.
That's the old NXT thing.
Yeah.
We used to do back in the day.
Yeah. All right, so the main event of All In was MJF versus Adam Cole. So initially a double pin was a
little late, but I like it.
So then they ruled that a draw, but then MJF said, no, we're at Wembley, this thing's going to end right. So Roderick Strong ended up trying to help it. MJF ended up retaining on a roll-up. A couple things on this mainly one thing that scared me was Cole's brainbuster on MJF on the steps. That was a very scary move that I can't believe they tried to do that. But that was the main event. I don't know, kind of was what it was. I didn't really expect Cole to win the belt. I just feel like it's just going to stay on MJF for quite a while. But I love this pay-per-view. Solid B pay-per-view for me. You guys got any final notes on All In or the main event?
I love the main event. It's weird seeing MJF go like super babyface. That was a bit jarring. I liked it though, which just whenever he does turn face, like I think his talents are going to transfer over, which I like, and I love Adam Cole, so I was a big fan of this main event. Pay-per-view as a whole, give it a B.
I remembered that I had a soundboard.
This one was more of a spectacle type pay-per-view, with being at Wembley and stuff. All Out was a little more storyline driven. They moved things forward. So, Michael, Primo, you guys got anything else for All In?
No, not really.
What AEW show is not a spectacle? Like, they're all spectacles. They're all the same thing. Like,
I know, Mr. Negative. I was referring to the spectacle of being Wembley and the people there. They didn't really announce matches till a couple days before it, basically. So it wasn't that huge spectacle match wise, but that's what I was.
Okay, let's Stadium Stampede. You have all this crazy goddamn shit happening. That makes why not? And then when you get to the main event and like the brain buster on the stairs, for example, you mentioned that.
Stupid.
Decent spot. But here's the problem with how you set up a card like this. You just saw what was it, 8 guys beating the piss out of each other using all the stips in the world. Who fucking cares at that point? You just saw it.
Because now this is different, guys.
No, it's the same thing though. Like, this is something that, and this MJF is a fucking hypocrite for this. He went on this tirade about you don't have to do these crazy, stupid spots to get over, and then he's in a spot where he has to do crazy, stupid spots to get his match over. Like, what the?
I mean, that's true. That's true. I mean, he did say stop doing that shit, guys. Right?
AEW booking is like a fucking crackhead is booking it. It makes no goddamn sense. There's no flow to the cards. Like, you're seeing the same things over and over and over. And I don't know. I just do not give a shit anymore.
Actually, I couldn't agree more about the flow. I never feel like it's very cohesive and flowy.
No.
Okay.
I agree as well.
All right, let's move on, boys. Let's talk a little WWE for a minute before we jump back to AEW. In between these two pay-per-views was WWE Payback. A few notes that I have from that show. Becky and Trish led off in the cage. I can say without a doubt this is the best Trish Stratus match that I've ever seen her have.
In history.
Yeah, this was the best she's ever done. Everything she's done in the past, no disrespect to any of that, but this was her best yet. I was, I'm not. You guys know I'm not a big Becky fan, but this match was good, man. I liked it.
For starters, the women are allowed to wrestle these days, and back when Trish was there, wrestling was different.
Brown panties. That's it. Like just brown panties.
Yeah. Now, granted, she's a multi-time women's champion, and her and Lita tore the house down multiple times towards the end of their first runs, but like. It was completely different back then. Like they weren't allowed to let loose like they can now and do what the men do. Like it's so I think that's pretty cool that she's able to just, get in there with someone like Becky, and of course Becky's gonna put on a hell of a match.
Yeah, I agree. Cena showed up. He's on the show here. Ended up putting over LA Knight at the end, raising his hand, giving the old point, the little Cena rub.
Everybody's saying that's a passing of a torch thing. He was just pointing at him, guys.
Yeah.
He did rock Roman Reigns at the Rumble.
That's all he did was
a little bit. Only to slightly greater success. Than
There's no passing of no
out
torch.
Of the building. Let me ask you guys something about this match, LA Knight versus The Miz. I love LA Knight. He's a great talent. And The Miz, I'm so lukewarm on. But here's my question for you all. Miz has been getting just the piss beaten out of him in match after match in 2 minutes. Who fucking cares about this match? If he took on Cena and beat him in 2 minutes, that's a passing of the torch. It's the fucking Miz.
I saw the other day that his record is 1-30 in 2023.
Yeah. He's about as much of a threat as I am to LA Knight.
They've used him a lot to try to get other people over that you kind of can't take him too as serious as you could, a while back. Because he's a worker, man. He's a little bit of a workhorse there, because he works with a lot of guys that they're trying to get over and stuff. But yeah, you're right. We've seen it so much that it's hard to kind of get behind it.
Also. LA Knight is already over.
Oh God!
He's already. Why is he working the Miz?
Right.
Yeah. Now they're gonna pair him with Dolph Ziggler and really get him on the top of the
ring. Go out there and let Dolph bump around for him. So.
God damn it!
We should have seen it all over this poster. Was the Judgment Day, and this ended up being a big night for them because Rhea retained. Finn and Priest end up winning the tag team titles from KO and Sammy. Dom's still the North American champion, so Damien's still senior Money in the Bank, so they're holding a lot of gold, a lot of weight right now. They're kind of talking to JD McDonough about being in, so this was kind of a big pay-per-view for them. Also, I want to get you guys' thoughts. I know Primo liked it. What did you think about Nakamura's kind of comic book like entrance? That was cool.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, is that what you call that? I mean, it's like
it was like a comic strip type.
Yeah.
An anime kind of situation.
Yeah.
Did anyone actually think Nakamura stood a chance at winning that belt?
Yep. Now I do.
Yes.
Seriously, how?
During that match, no, I knew Seth was clearly going over. I don't care. I love this version of Nakamura I absolutely let him cut promos in Japanese the whole time. It's awesome. I love it.
Kind of irrational on my part. I just kind of base a lot of title reigns off of time, and I'm like, all right, Seth's had it a long time to go.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, but they've been on the trend of give people titles for as long as possible. Plus, they have to legitimize this.
I
new
can't
world
wait
title.
till that ends. By the way.
Plus, I think that Shinsuke at some point should have a belt in, like a world title belt in WWE, and I think this might be it.
I still
Whether or
think
not
he's going to take it off Seth.
I see. I kind of do too.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's a transitional champion, so they can put it on fucking LA Knight or Jey Uso or whoever, I don't know, is a different argument.
He took the L so he could be even of a nastier heel and attack him after the match and all that.
Yeah.
See, now they kind of almost have to give it to him now, because then otherwise, what's the point of continuing it?
Draw it out because I have no other storyline going for Seth.
For Seth, no, they don't.
Yeah. So Jay's out of the bloodline now. Also kind of took effect in this pay-per-view. It was decent, man. About a C+, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I think the women's Becky and Trish was probably the best match of the night, man.
Oh, and by the way, to backtrack a little bit, I gotta say I was actually I'm cool with the Judgment Day winning the tag titles, but I was kind of surprised.
I was very surprised. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it's been pretty obvious that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's star has fallen quite a bit since they haven't been involved with the Bloodline.
I mean, I agree with that, but I just, I didn't think it. I figured it would go to someone else because I thought they were going to do some more drama within Judgment Day.
You know what's really funny about the Judgment Day? It is the exact blueprint of the Bloodline.
Yeah.
The exact blueprint.
Just less interesting. As much as I love Finn Balor.
Oh no, they're all great. Dom's a great heel. Rhea Ripley's a fucking megastar. The biggest star in the entire group. Damian Priest has got a hell of a career ahead of him. Finn Balor is a great wrestler and a great promo and a great veteran. But it's the Bloodline. They have all the gold.
Yeah.
Who had all the gold before that?
Yeah.
I agree completely with that assessment.
Evolution.
Right.
Evolution.
It was Evolution before.
The Elite.
And it was the NWO.
All right, boys. Well, sorry, Michael. We got to jump back to AEW here because just about a week after All In London was All Out in Chicago. This
isn't that weird?
A week. Yeah, it was a week.
Out, yeah. I guess. Yeah, but they probably looked at it as like one over there and then this one over here. They were far apart.
But I was like,
guys,
okay, what?
Weren't you guys just talking about how AEW's pay-per-views are so spaced out? 1 week.
Right.
In this instance, they are not.
Right.
No, fucking AEW.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Just some notes for All Out. Punk had already been fired by now. We're going into All Out. This pay-per-view was, like I said, a little more of storyline driven, moving things a little bit more forward, I thought. First things right off the bat, the Acclaimed, the new Trios title. They got the new little scissor belts. Did you guys get to see Rodman at all? He busted a guitar over Jeff Jarrett's head.
No.
It was on. That was on like Collision or something before that.
Did you go, AJ?
No, my ticket went unused for All Out.
What? And what
unfortunately.
was that? Why was that, AJ?
I had to work.
He had obligations.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, so Samoa Joe retained the ROH TV title. I'm liking his run. But now let's talk about Starks and Bryan Danielson here. Danielson, arguably one of the hottest wrestlers on the planet right now. Like he just seems to get his mojo back, man. I mean, all he got to do is get on TV. Everybody loved him. But this match was another one of those like special ones in his career, man. And the place was going nuts for him. Shout out Chicago too, man. I thought they could hijack this show and just chant CM Punk all night. They did not.
I was very worried about that.
Yeah, so shout out to that to them, man. It was awesome. They were totally into it. Another great Chicago pay-per-view show. But anyway, let's go back, man. Starks Danielson, man. What a match, man. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think about this one?
I loved it. And I'm glad that Bryan Danielson went over. Normally in a match like this, I'd be like, give it to Ricky Starks. But in this instance, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's Bryan Danielson's match. I think that's not to take away from Ricky Starks, obviously, because he was a part of it as well. But yeah, I fucking loved it. Like, this is Bryan Danielson at his peak. Like, this is fantastic.
Why are they having a strap match?
Because it's fun.
I gotta be honest, I didn't know they were having a strap match until I saw the match.
It was kind of just like the stipulation they made. There was really no reason behind it. It was just kind of like,
Why is there a stipulation?
Who was supposed to face Ricky Starks?
CM Punk.
Is it actually CM Punk?
I think it was supposed to be.
I think it was.
They were supposed to
Okay.
run. They were supposed to run the. They were supposed to have a rematch. Yeah.
So then you just say, okay, Bryan Danielson's going to be a replacement. Since you and Ricky have no actual beef with one another, have a wrestling match.
That's like we're gonna put the biggest pop insert here and make everybody forget about Punk.
God.
That's what that move was. That's what that move
How
was.
many-
But I agree. I agree with you. The strap match does not make sense.
No, they should have just
It
went.
didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't.
This shit
But-
never makes sense.
But Michael, did you like the match?
I love Bryan Danielson. I was just confused the entire time. Why
Yeah.
is this happening? What is
Oh,
going
see,
on?
I got over that very quickly. I was like, this match is fun. Like, I don't care.
Don't get me wrong. Ricky Starks is a great up-and-comer. He really is. Bryan Danielson is a fucking all-star. Probably the best talent in the entire company. Like, probably easily the best talent in the entire company.
Sure.
And yeah, he's putting over Ricky Starks by, even in victory, Bryan Danielson knows how to put people over. The dude's a fucking genius. By the time we got to this match, this is 9 matches deep. I did not care anymore. Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Why is it another stip match? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, I love it though. I thought it was great. I mean, Ricky could even went over, and I wouldn't have cared, man. So it's all good to me. But I'm liking Takeshita's stuff here. I think him going over Omega was the right move for right now. So I really liked that. What'd you guys think about the Guns, man? The Guns are getting better, man. Whether you like it or not, I think they've gotten a lot better over the last probably a couple months. They were really good in this match with FTR and the Bucks and whatever what the Golden Bullet Club.
You know what I like?
Bang Bang Gang.
I like it.
Bullet Club
I like
Gold.
their entrance. When they
entrance
have water
is-
in their mouth.
that is
When they go when they spit the water and shoot the guns.
Yeah, I like that too. I think they're good. They're good.
I'm a
heels.
simple human.
Yeah.
Why
We're wrestling
are the
fans.
Guns?
That's what we like.
Why are the Guns teaming with the Bullet Club Gold? Why is FTR teaming with the Young Bucks? Were they just feuding? What the fuck is going on? Why is there an 8-man tag team match?
They just throw them all in there and let them figure it out.
Because Teddy Long took over for a day.
Damn it!
Go do things. There you go.
Why are you guys so forgiving of this bullshit?
Oh, I'm not.
Tag team match, player.
Because I don't expect so much out of it. That's why.
Yeah, I don't care.
If this
I
was
just don't care anymore.
WWE, you fuckers would be roasting this shit.
I'll
That's
say-
because
well,
we
here-
expect more out of WWE.
I
AEW
do
is
not give a
still
fuck,
yes.
Michael, before you blow a gasket, let me put in my 2 cents. I could give a fuck about this match.
That's
Thank
fine.
you!
Didn't care at all.
Thank you!
But I'm not angry about it. I just
Yeah,
didn't
I don't
care.
care.
I'm not angry about the match. I'm angry about people are like, oh, well, it's AEW, so what are you going to do? It's totally fun and fine and goofy and silly, and everyone goes through tables and super kicks all day. Yay!
See, I just didn't give a fuck. I was just like, whatever.
Sorry
I
to
don't
interrupt
have-
you from the loud noises and shiny things, DB.
I don't have any expectations for AEW.
Bullshit, you don't! You both fucking do! You're
Okay,
all
let's
over the
move on.
board! You're
Let's
all
move
over
on.
the place on what you think is good and what isn't good. You have such high double standards for fucking everything. You're not consistent at all in what's good, and it drives me crazy.
Okay. So, what about Mox winning the what's it called now? The international title,
Yeah, from
Yeah.
what's his face?
right?
Sure,
And
why not?
And I enjoyed this match. I thought
course.
Orange coming out looking good here, despite despite losing to Mox. I thought this was a fun match. For what it was, kind of crazy at times, but you
He
can
won the
tell that
stadium stampede by
Orange is their
spitting glass
guy.
on his hand.
Yeah, that was nuts,
I
right?
just want to talk about that again.
Part of the old whatever that finishing move is called, like Superman punch. But
Orange Crush.
It's called the
No,
Orange
Orange-
Crush
there you
Orange
go.
Crush.
There you go.
Orange Crush.
because
Michael.
he punches them.
Hey! Nobody needs to yell. Nobody needs to yell.
No,
Yeah.
you tell me right
Nobody
now.
needs to yell.
What did you enjoy
Nobody needs
so
to
much
yell.
about this match?
Just kind of like them going back and forth. It was a title match, despite your contrary to belief, there are people that enjoys Orange's little gimmick that he does. I enjoyed it. I'm not a big Mox fan, you know that, but I still enjoyed this match. It was
Okay.
good. It was a while back, so I mean, I don't remember hating it. So
I didn't see the match. Did
how about-
Mox bleed?
How about, for the sake of discussion, you stop straw man in every point I make? How about some of that for once? Here you go. You want to know a fun little fact, and the ratings prove this? Every time Orange Cassidy's on the TV, people fucking flee, and then they come back when MJF is on.
okay.
Every goddamn time.
That's probably in the beginning because he comes on a lot in the beginning. So
Look at you
I guess
making
they changed the
excuses.
channel in the
Look at you
beginning.
go.
No,
Look at
man.
you go.
I'm just saying. Hey, look, it's very obvious, Michael. Me and you look at wrestling in different ways, and we expect different things out of it. But Orange is funny to me, and he's very over, so it's kind of fun to watch the
Nope.
crowd. It's fun to watch him.
No, he's
you know,
not
like,
over.
Okay. Well, he's over.
not.
He's not. But this guy they send out just about every week when Dynamite comes on, right? But he's not that over.
Because that's what over means. That the boss thinks you're hilarious. That makes you over. Tell me what
So
you define
you're talking
over
about
as.
something different. As a certain crowd, AEW's crowd loves Orange.
No, they
do.
don't. I just told you
Okay.
the fucking numbers do not
Okay.
prove that. They don't.
Well, I tell you what. When the
All
show
right.
comes on and the music comes on, I just like to watch everybody in the crowd go, "Yay!" Okay, all right, enough. All right, so that was the main event. I would have called this about a B+ on this All Out storyline. So I mean, for this All Out pay-per-view, which moved a lot of storylines. I thought, like I said, once again, I wrote down here, Chicago crowd, thumbs up for this one.
I think that this almost beat for beat was kind of the American version of All In, which I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I think that was kind of the thinking behind it.
Yeah.
So I was fine with it. Like I wasn't overly like invested in too much except for Danielson, Ricky Starks. I thought that was amazing, but yeah, overall it was. I was never bored by it, I guess. So yeah, B-, C+, that area, I guess.
Yeah. You guys got anything else before we go to the
No.
last few notes here and go home?
No.
All right,
That's
so
a good thing.
Are you sure?
notes here before we go home, boys. Let's talk about. I just got the email today. Royal Rumble is going to be January the 27th at Tropicana Field,
In Tampa Bay.
Tampa, Florida. Yeah,
Is that that's outside, right?
Yeah,
That's-
I think so.
Is
Right?
Tropicana outside? Yeah.
Tampa Rays. Is that where
Yeah,
they play?
it's a, like one of those weird like
I think it's
is
a
it half-
dome though.
I don't know. Either way, cool. I like it. Oh
So
wait,
what about
Becky Lynch is the NFC
Oh,
champion now. Like,
It is a dome.
right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's where the
What did you
Tampa
just say?
Rays play.
Becky Lynch won the thingy, didn't she, on NXT?
I don't know. I haven't watched NXT.
Oh, spoilers.
Won the thingy, the women's title.
Yeah, that thingy.
Oh.
All I know about NXT is that they were like really hyping up the spot that Braun Breaker did to Von Wagner about where he crushed his head with the steps, supposedly.
Which was incredibly safe. I don't know why there's so many people
Well,
that are like,
I've
oh my
seen- I've
god,
actually-
it was so dangerous. Like fuck.
I
bro,
watched
it
the
was
slow mo
not.
where Vaughn moves his head.
Yeah, there was some
There
guy
is-
that put like a tape, like he had a perfect recording angle of it.
He was like 8 inches away from him.
Yeah, right,
It was
yeah,
like
it wasn't
the
even close.
safest thing ever.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
moved too. Yeah.
It didn't look real nasty. Like
That's a
when you
good
had it.
segue. Speaking of safe, Nia Jax returned.
Oh yeah, she's
last-
back.
Ugh.
I forgot about that.
yeah.
I
Uh,
audibly groaned when she came out. I just went, ugh.
When she came back, I was like,
Then I felt like
Oh.
Michael.
Oh, this is what they're doing.
You felt like me, huh?
Yeah,
Why'd you feel like me?
Because I went,
You know what? Why does,
like you're the audible groaner. I don't do that much.
You guys have this mistaken. It's not wrestling that pisses me off. It's you guys that piss me off. You have it all
Good.
backwards.
Good. That's why you're here. We
Oh,
love
fuck
to
you,
torture
DB.
you.
Dick.
All right. So
why does Vince McMahon dye his eyebrows?
Because he's 9 billion years old.
He
So
looks
he can-
like a fucking.
He looks like he looks like an old timey like.
where did that picture come from? Him that surfaced all of a sudden. Like,
That's actually a picture
I-
of Vincent Price.
I sent you. I put the picture in our little chat. It's of the Wall Street where they signed today, where they did the fucking opening on Wall Street today.
I'm 1,000 years old, Michael, so I got that joke.
See, there you go. You know who Vincent Price is. Congratulations.
Fuck you, Michael.
Fuck you, DB, and your Nia Jax loving bullshit.
You called me 1,000 years old, you prick. That's what
You
I was
are
saying.
1,000. Look at you. Look at you. You're
Yeah,
barely a human. You're mostly dust. Look at
Well, I may be 1,000 years old, but you look 1,000 years old.
you. Oh, at least I'm not
his-
trying to keep up with the
back
kids.
feels
Go
1,000.
back to Alaska and get in your fish hole there with your
Fish
gray
hole?
beard.
Oh, okay, I'd rather be 1,000 years old in my fish hole than trying to be the old man trying to hang out at the bar when he's too fucking old to be there. Oh, I sure love this AEW. Ha cha 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 cha.
Doesn't he? Doesn't
I'm
he
cool,
work?
right, kids? No, you fucking loser. You're not. You're old.
Yeah,
You're an NWA guy. Fucking accept it.
yeah.
I like the term fish hole.
I do too.
What is a fish hole?
don't know.
Am I a
Last
fish
time
hole?
I was
You're a
last
fish
time
hole.
last time I was at a bar was months ago, and I worked at AJ's bar. So
Goddamn right you did.
anyway, all right. So a couple notes, guys. They love us in Northern Ireland. We're getting a lot of downloads from Northern Ireland, UK area. So thank you to everybody listening.
Hello,
us there.
hello, those in Derry and Belfast and all that
That
stuff.
is because AJ and I are from Belfast. Our
There you
blood lives.
go.
Yeah, we have family
family.
in Belfast. Apparently, I didn't
You
know
guys-
that for my whole
You guys
life.
want to say hi to anybody in particular?
No.
Hey,
Patty.
need to go
Apparently,
fuck
your
yourself.
family's
How's that
back
sound?
there. So.
Primo,
Hi.
love you, buddy.
Hi.
I love you, man.
Hi,
BB,
hi, Patty.
fuck you.
Oh man! All right, so we'll be back in October. We're going to be covering Fastlane and also new AEW pay-per-view called
Yes.
Wrestle Dream.
Yes.
What's it called?
Didn't you
Wrestle
guys
Dream.
just tell me I don't have to watch that many AEW pay-per-view?
We
You
lied.
don't. You don't
Since we
have
talked
to.
about
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Just do what I do. Michael. Watch the highlights.
I think you would misunderstand what my role is here.
Right.
Someone has to bring the voice of
Must stay
fucking
informed.
reason to this
Right.
insanity.
I must stay informed despite you guys.
Yes. Know thy enemy, know thyself.
Good to see you, boys. Thanks for hanging out today. It was good to talk wrestling with you guys. Primo, AJ, Michael.
Woo.
Happy fall, happy football, happy, great time of year.
Hook 'em horns.
All that good stuff. So,
Great
so
visual
we'll see you
weather.
guys all back here in October. So we're going to do something a little different today. Rest in peace, Terry Funk, Bray Wyatt. We talked about them at the beginning of the show. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out and listening today. We're going to go home with an old Terry Funk entrance song. Enjoy. Be safe. See you guys next time.